Hello there, students. Once again, Mr. Brzezinski is here to deliver a lesson for you. Aren't you lucky? Now let's talk about the forms. Google Forms. This is to create surveys, quizzes, questionnaires that you might want to give out to friends, other classmates, to accumulate data into a database. So here's what we're going to do. First, you need to separate this video from the other tabs. To do that, I go up to the tab bar. I click. I drag this tab out to create a new window with just the video in it. Once I have that window, I want to resize the window so that I have an optimal size of my video. To optimize the size of this video, I need to scroll down to the lower right hand side, wait till my cursor changes to a double arrow here, and then I could resize this window to make this video a little bit smaller so that I could fit it onto the right hand side of my screen. I just move the whole thing over, then move it over to the right to make sure that I could fit the video on and see what I'm doing at the same time. I'm now ready to start up my form. So to get to the form, I'm going to start a new tab by clicking on the new tab button up at the top here, and I'm going to try to get to my drive. Okay, so I click on my touchpad there and go down to my drive. Sometimes I could just type in drive.google up here and it will automatically take me to my drive as well. I'm going to select new from the list, and then I'm going to go down to forms, which are right down here. Scroll down, I need more, and I say Google Forms. I select Google Forms from my list. It's now time to title the form, so up here where it says Untitled, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to rename it to be Forms, hyphen, and then my first name, last name. You could put it in just like that, click OK. So now it's the time to decide what your form is going to be about. And I left some topic ideas here on my project forms list here. So you can make your form or your survey about foods, clothing, what you like to do with your free time, about school activities, school classes, music, books, cell phone use, sports, vacation time, whatever. I'm going to add some more maybe as we go along, so you could check back. Think about what you want to survey your friends on. I will be taking the survey possibly for you, so make sure it's school appropriate, obviously. So pick out your topic, and let's put it right here on the title of the actual. So this is what other people will see. It gave it your automatic title that you titled your thing with, but now we can do the title that people will actually see when they log in to do your form right here. So go ahead and put your topic right there at the top. So go ahead at the top of the page here. I'm going to type in what your topic is. My topic is going to be foods. So you type in what your topic is right there, and you could expand upon this. You could put a little bit more information, and you could even give your form a description. Find out what foods you like best. Now obviously you don't have to write this. You might write about your sports. You might want to find out what people think about the books that you read or whatever, but you could write your own description any way that you want that fits what your survey is about. So here's what's required of the project here. Topic, check, did that. Description of quiz, check, did that. Here are the 5 different types of questions that I want you to put on your form. First, multiple choice, checkbox, fill in the blank, choose from a list, and a scale. So I come over to my form, and the first choice, it's already set for multiple choice answers. So I'm going to ask my question up here. I'm going to allow it to be multiple choice, and I want to select at least 4 answers. for the person to choose from. So I asked my question up here. I just click in the box and I start typing. Make sure that you use capital letters and that your sentence is obviously written in proper English. If your sentence requires a question mark because it is a question, then place one there. Then come up with your selectable answers. So which type of food is your favorite? Home cooking, fast food, sit-down chain restaurants, or fine cuisine? You can add more if you'd like. All you have to do is click and you have an option number 5, 6, 7. You could have, I would say anything less than 10 if you want to have more options for someone to choose from. I could also delete options if I want by checking the X on the right hand side. So go ahead, think of your first question. Come up with at least a minimum of 4 answers in multiple choice. If you are doing the multiple choice first, somewhere along the line you'll need to do a multiple choice of at least 4 answers. The next form choice is a checkbox, so I'm going to create a checkbox on my form. And I'm on my questionnaire here. I scroll down. I'm done with the multiple choice question. I slide down here and I'm going to add an item. And I could say checkboxes. So I hit the checkboxes. There's my question type right there. And I'm going to ask my next question. So once again, I've asked my question. Again, you're going to put your question in there. You're not going to follow mine, but you're going to have your own question. Okay, and then I have my checkboxes, types of questions, and I scroll down here, and I gave at least 4 selectable answers or checkboxes down here. I can also add the other field. So if they do not see what they like up here, they can write in their own answer here. Typically, I do have capital letters on all the beginnings of my answers. So if you want to go back and make sure that you have capital letters on all those answers for all my questions all the way through. Next up, I'm going to do a fill in the blank with text responses. Now this question is going to be so open-ended that there's too many responses or too many possible answers. So I won't try to make a multiple choice or a checkbox. I'll just let the person fill in what they want. So I go back to my form again. I scroll down to the bottom. It's time to add an item. I can check here and I can put in text. So add item, and then it's going to give me a text. I could ask the question and then their answer will go into the text box right there. So there's my question. What is your favorite restaurant? And obviously they can choose from any of 5,000 different restaurants. So I want to leave this an open-ended text box so they can put in what question, what restaurant they like best right there. Next type of question, I want to choose from a list. Go ahead and set up my form for the next item. I scroll down here, add an item, and I want to choose from a list. I select choose from a list. I'm going to ask a question, and then this will be a very pigeonholed, so to speak, question where there will only be certain answers that they're allowed to select from. So there might not be a whole lot of answers for this question. You might want to curtail your question to make sure that there are only a few different types of answers. So let's go ahead and put that in there. So there's my question right there. What is your favorite pizza topping? And typically they have the same pizza toppings at all the pizzerias. So you come down here and those are all of the list. So that will be a drop-down list on my form later on. Finally, I have a scale. So here's how to do the scale. First, I go ahead and I add the next item. Add an item. And I'm going to use the scale right from here. So my question for the scale is going to be, how great is the cafeteria food at Nichman? And I'll put it on a scale of 1 to 10. Instead of 1 to 5, I'll move it to 1 to 10. So go ahead and give me a 1 to 10. Everyone knows the 10-point scale is the best. And then I'll put horrible for a 1 and excellent. So you could always create your own scale, make it from 1 to 10, and then you put whatever the worst is at the 1 and whatever the best is. If you want to use different words, of course, that's up to you. You just need to have a scale for this, this question here. So that's 5 questions. That's all that's required. If you wanted to add another one, by all means, I would say no more than 10 though, no more than 10. And I click done when I'm done. You can also make your questions mandatory by selecting the question, clicking on it, and scrolling down to the bottom of the question and say, required question. You must answer this question to be finished with the quiz. And then hit done. You can go to the next question and again scroll down and require the question. So you can require all the questions for the survey. All the way at the top of my page, you'll notice there are some choices here that I can make. For instance, I can automatically collect the person's name. I could shuffle the question order so that it goes out of order. Sometimes that isn't good, but sometimes it's fine if I shuffle up the questions. Only allow one response per person. Show progress. You can click all of these if you want. This way you'll know who took the quiz, what their name was, and there's only going to be one page, so this progress bar at the bottom doesn't really matter. This is only when you do multiple page quizzes, and you can only allow one per person. That's fine, and you can shuffle the order. So go ahead and select those at the top of the form settings, at the top of the page. And again, at the top here it says I can change the theme. I can make it look a certain way. If I select change the theme, you'll see what your form will look like on the internet, as you see here. Okay, and then you could also choose the theme from over here that you want to give to your project. So you can then see how it looks when you're done. So you could choose one of those themes. So now you could be the first person to take your own quiz. Up here at the top, I'm going to hit View Live Form, and my form will now load. Scroll down, read your question, answer your questions, and when you're finished, you'll be down here at the bottom. You could hit Submit. So I finished my quiz, I hit Submit, and here I got my response has been recorded. So now let's go see where it's been recorded to. So if I go back up to my tabs across the top here, I go back to my form, and it shows me right here that I have one response, and that's my response. So I can click here and say View Responses, and it says, how do you want to do this? I'm going to open it up in a new spreadsheet, so I hit Create. So here is the form that was created by Google. It has the parentheses responses there. It tells me when the form was turned in. It tells me the username that turned it in as requested. And then it also tells me what the answer for each one of the questions is. So I can see what the question was up here. And then you can see what the answer is down below. Now once I have 900 people fill in this form here, I will be able to organize by going to the top of the column here and sorting from A to Z or Z to A, and be able to find all the people that like cuisine. And if I made one of these fields, the username field has the person's email address in there. So I can target market to certain people that like fine cuisine, and then I could just email just those people by selecting all their emails and copying and paste it into a form letter that I'll create later. And now it's time to turn in your work. So if I go across the tabs here and I go back to my form where I see it over here, my forms, it should have the purple there, and I can go to Send Form over here. So I'm in this Send Form over here, and I have a link to share. That's exactly what I want to share. I double click on that link, and I do Command copy, or I right click and copy this link. I come back over to my stream and I get into the stream right here where it tells me that I need to submit my work. So go ahead and scroll down to the bottom where it says your work. I'm going to add a link. Right here, I'm going to add the link. And in the center right here, I'm going to paste. Command V, or paste it this way. Right click, paste it. Command V will also, and I add that link. It adds it to my project right there. And I'm ready to turn it in.